kid.
You didn't say set. You fuck.
Oh,
come on,
go.
dude. Maybe it wasn't that obvious, but I was.
Yeah.
Ready?
Set.
Come back to another episode of the Quip Save podcast. I mean, the UnSuperDupervised.
You'll never see me coming. Because I do it privately in my house. Coming.
I didn't know you were into Persona, my dude.
That's the only song I know of the new Persona. The last Persona I played was Persona 3. So I wouldn't say I'm... No, actually, that's a lie. The last Persona I played was Persona 4 Arena, which is not a Persona game. It's a fighting game.
Yeah, I've seen those. I haven't played them all that much because I suck at freaking fighting games. All of them. But I know what you're talking about.
The fighting game was really good. It was made by... I forgot.
Is it the people that make Skullgirls or not Skullgirls? The other
Blast Blue, Guilty Gear, and Fighters.
Yeah, I always lump all those in a same category because they're like the 2D.
Yeah, the 2D. They look animated. Like that, like they're animated. Yeah, fuck, I love those games so much. But nah, I've never I only ever played Persona 2 a little bit. Like a very little bit, barely, and Persona 3 all the way. I never played Persona 4, and since I only got a Switch recently, and I don't think it's on Xbox, I never played Persona 5.
No, it's only on PlayStation, like not even Switch yet. Even though they got Joker in Smash. I mean, Joker is from Smash Bros, obviously, and then he had his own game, right?
Yeah, that's how it worked.
At least that's what the internet would have you believe.
But yeah,
I mean, I guess you've missed out on the most mainstream ones, which some people would say are the better ones, but it's interesting you've played Persona 2, because to me that's like real old school.
Yeah, but that was like when I was in pretty much middle school. Recesses of the internet, and like one of the things that Persona was popular for at that point in time is that it was really weird, and one of the weird characters was like this weird chariot monster that was literally a penis.
I think he is a recurring character now. I wonder why.
I didn't even know. I thought he just showed up in 2 because I think that's the first time he showed up. So I was just like, what the fuck is this game about? And I tried it a little bit and I got bored because at that time I wasn't super into Well, I was into RPGs, but definitely not the Persona kind where it's just like...
What, horny teenagers trying to corral demons to use for battle?
Pretty much,
there's nothing weird about that.
It was like kind of like, oh, I have to manage some other teenage person's life. I'm barely handling my own. Fuck off. And I got bored.
Oh, no.
But then a friend of mine...
Yeah,
a friend of mine recommended 3, and I was just like, fine, I'll try it. And I got really into it, and I beat it.
3 was for sure, because it was the first, like, mainstream one, I guess. So it was probably the one that most people, like, got into the series with, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, at least back in the day. Obviously, Persona 5 sold way more than any other one combined, maybe, so.
Which is rare, because, like, I remember back in the day, I didn't really hear much from 4. It was almost like 4 didn't even exist in my radar. It was just like, I know a lot of people who played 3... And then I never knew about 4 even coming out until I played the Battle Arena game. And then 5 came out and it was a huge hit. And I'm just like, what happened at 4?
Yeah, 5's popularity is insane. I feel like maybe 4, it probably did grow a little bit, but it was mainly the fans of 3 that just carried on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think really what won people over from 4 for 5 was just like, the marketing for it was really good, and the art direction for it was immediately captivating because it was just like, it was so distinct from the other ones. It was this very jazzy thing where you were just like, oh, this is really, really new, and it was just interesting. Like, even me, I like, the last one I played was 3, and I remember the first Persona 5 trailer came out, and I'm just like, oh man, this hits all of my vibes. Obviously, I'm not going to get to play it because it's PlayStation, but still, I would like to.
I think that's definitely the art style, the flashy animations, just the overall, like, the aesthetic of the game is what brought it so much mainstream success, because 3 and 4 had the music going. Like, they've always, Persona has had
that jazzy,
the same jams. It's really good. But in terms of visuals, I don't think they quite got it down until 5. And man, they fucking nailed it, dude. I've been playing it a lot recently. I guess that's why I started talking about it out of nowhere. And I think it's probably one of my favorite RPGs now, even though I haven't even beat it. But it's just so aesthetically good. The music, the actual gameplay.
Because you're a Persona
the dating stuff, I get it, but maybe it's not. Like, if it wasn't a dating game, I would probably still play it, if it didn't have that part. But it's good, too.
I mean, I feel like all those dating sims kind of games is definitely kind of like an acquired taste. That's like something, it's not for everybody. I know I say that about a lot of games, but that's just a fact. It's just like not everybody likes to pretend date fake characters. Usually. There
is a huge, demand for it now, though. I feel like not just Persona, but Danganronpa and
because
there's a couple of other niche ones.
It's like people. I see. There's two kinds of people when it comes to this. There's people who just they like the stimuli they get from it. They like the character aspect of it. They're like the kind of gamers who really like character-based stories, and they like seeing and being part of these character arcs. And I feel like those kind of games are that's pretty much the focus. So a lot of people really like that. And then there's the other camp of people who are just so emotionally stunted that the only kind of romantic interaction they'll ever have is from those games. And, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Oh, well. Them's the breaks.
So basically, these games are the equivalent of mainstream people that like novelas.
Yeah. Or the people who like to live the weird psychopaths who use GTA in all those games to fucking vent out their innermost violent tendencies.
Whoa.
That's joking, by the way. I'm not joking.
Joker.
By the way, what
cool.
Why is that his name? Is that his code name, or is his actual name Joker? I never looked into it.
I think his official name is Ray. But yeah, his code name, because they all get cool Phantom Thief names. Ray what? I don't freaking know, dude.
As he looks into the camera with his funny little masquerade mask, he says, Skywalker. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my.
Everybody walks out of the
theater. Well, all I remember is, at least in P4, the character's name in Persona 4 was literally you. I mean, it's YU, but you get the pun here, right?
No, I don't get it. I don't see why you're making fun of another culture's naming practices. I feel like that was very ignorant on your part. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this podcast with you, considering how non-progressive you are.
From Persona 4?
With you from Persona 4, it all comes full circle.
Awesome.
You is not progressive. He's a fucking bigot. You is a bigot.
Well, speaking of
that's why
people
Persona
getting
4,
overly attached.
That's why Persona 4 wasn't so big, because you was a bigot. You see? And everybody canceled him immediately. He did not have good policies, good opinions. They were all very radical. And, well...
He was not about the bear rights?
No, he was not about the bear rights. He always said, yaoi, yuri, none of that. I only like my hetero relations. And he was immediately booed off the stage.
You should check out the Persona 4 anime. It's actually pretty good.
Really?
I've never beat the game. I only watched the anime, and I thought it was,
Oh, okay. I've heard people who like the game don't like the anime.
Well, if you're never going to play the game, but you want to experience the story, because I think it's actually pretty good, at least Persona 4.
Okay.
I mean, all of the recent ones have had good story, but yeah, the animation for P5 was not liked as much as P4. But somehow, it's one of the rare animes that I've heard even diehard fans say that the dub is actually better than the sub somehow.
Really? I thought that was
And I think it's probably because of the voice actors, maybe because they played the game and they got attached to the English voice actors. But I don't know. I remember when the P5 animation came out, people did not like it. But now they're there's so many meme videos of the dub on YouTube. And maybe it's because of the memes, but
yeah, I think it might be
yeah,
that.
it's
Because I feel like if there was a legitimate case of people saying like, oh yeah, the dub's way better than the original Japanese sub, that's like, that seems cursed. But then again, that's just me, dude. Preference, because I know people to this day who will die on a hill preferring the Dragon Ball Z dub, which I have a very nostalgic attachment to, you know. And there's a lot of voices that I definitely say I prefer hearing in the dub versus the sub, like Piccolo's and Vegeta's. You know, obviously those are voices that you just can never throw out. But like nowadays,
so Chris Sabat basically.
Yeah. Nowadays, I find it kind of difficult to watch the Dragon Ball Z dub, and it's weird. It's weird that I made that transition.
Yeah, I think Super had a big effect for me in that term because I never saw the sub as a kid. You know, it was pretty much always just the Toonami dub. Yeah. But after watching Super all in Japanese, it is hard. Like, it's weird to go back to the English, I guess. It's
just like, I don't know. I feel like I find the characters in the sub of it a lot more endearing. I know a lot of people complain just like, oh no, Goku's voice just sounds way too like high pitched and something, but I find it a lot more endearing because it makes him definitely seem more like the goofball he's played out to be.
Mm-hmm.
I find it a lot easier to take Sean Schemmel's seriously, especially when he's being serious. But when Sean Schemmel's trying to play the goofy Goku, I find it harder to buy into.
You mean when the outtakes happen?
Yeah. Especially those.
Oh, no. But yeah, no, I get you. I was about to say Goku specifically, when you hear him in Japanese, even though maybe the voice, yeah, it's hard to get used to at first if you're used to just Sean Schemmel. But the character itself, the way he's written, it makes so much more sense. Like, he's literally a country country boy.
Bumpkin, like a country hick. Yeah. Relatable.
So relatable.
But hey, good segue talking about sub versus dub. I was about to talk, you were talking about how recently, like, you've been really playing Persona a lot. So it's like, you've been thinking about it a lot and can't stop yourself from talking about it. And just like really shoving it down people's throats. I mean, I've been getting calls like crazy, man. You really need to chill out. But for me,
Rise she's real. She exists. All right.
as you're squirming in your straitjacket. Makoto, where's my wife? Where's my wife, Makoto? And as the doctors are sticking the needle in your neck, you never had a wife. You're crazy.
Wait, were you actually about to segue this? Because I feel like we had the same segue. I was going to say, speaking of characters or falling in love with virtual characters, this has definitely been a trend recently, hasn't it?
Do you know, I feel like you know where I'm going with this.
I knew you were going to make the same freaking segue, dude.
Are we going to talk about VTubers right now?
Gabe, it's time to tell us about your addiction. It's time for you to... Okay, actually, let's frame it like this, right? Because I don't know much about the VTuber world. I haven't watched any, like, YouTubers or Twitch streamers yet. I mean, I've seen videos about them. Like, there's a lot of channels that doing video essays about VTubing recently. But I don't have any first-hand experience, so... Explain it to me as a newbie. What is the appeal? What's got you hooked onto these 3D titties?
You see, since the dawn of time, since the beginning of man, we've strived to find purpose in this world. You know, society has progressed in many ways. We've waged wars and created monuments in the honor of society's strive towards the future, towards something higher, towards the pinnacle of our abilities. And it's all led to this moment. The moment where we have little anime girls playing video games.
Oh my god.
like reels.
And you can give them bits.
You can give them money so they can do it more. Let me be straight about this for a second. This all started in a way that most people probably won't believe. And the reason I was trying to transition it from like dubbing and subbing is because I think when most people hear VTubers, they think about the Japanese ones, like Kizuna Ai and all of those, the really big ones, which I hear about less and less these days, but oh well. I actually didn't get into VTubers through those. You know, I would see clips of them every once in a while that were like kind of endearing, but it was definitely kind of those situations where it's just like, aha, this Japanese person interacting with this very like Western media and seeing their reactions. It's very quirky because it's like the culture.
That's where I first heard was definitely Kitsune AI, which is a YouTube channel mainly, right?
Yeah.
That's how she started.
Yeah. And like, you know, seeing that culture divide and this cute little anime girl was really funny, especially when they would try to speak English or curse in English. But that was never like engaging enough for me because it was just like,
oh God, is that your bias? Is it the ones that curse in their kawaii voice?
No. Like I said, I find that hilarious. I think it's really quirky and endearing. But it was never something where I was just like, oh, I could watch this all the time because obviously, you know, I don't speak Japanese. And like, even though I speak a little and understand a little, it's like,
even though you wish that you pretend that you do.
well, excuse you,
I've heard you reciting Dio's monologues before bed. Don't pretend.
You see, that is actually the spirit of Dio inserting himself into me, and I am just his avatar. I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying that is cringe.
Well, that's actually a couple of years away still, you know, when we can insert ourselves into the VTubers.
But it was just kind of like, you know, yeah, it's cool and it's funny and all that stuff, but it's not something I could just like watch all the time or have in the background because like half the time I don't know what the fuck they're saying, and it was just not my thing, right? But I saw the appeal. But to go back a little bit, back when like the internet was still in its wild west days, you know, where like everything was wild and rampant, there was this one content creator and her name is Nyanners. I don't know if you ever
Sea Nanners?
No, Nyanners. Like Nyan, like
not Sea
Japanese
Nanners.
cat.
Not the Minecraft legend.
No, not the Minecraft legend Sea Nanners, even though I used to watch him a lot too. But her name was Nyanners. And she was just this funny girl who was known because she had this very high-pitched voice. Very high-pitched anime girl voice. And she would take advantage of that. You know, that was like back in the day when like people were doing like fan dubs of animes and shit and doing a lot of like abridged series for animes.
Oh yeah, that was my jam, dude. So I love the bridge.
She would usually like show up in those as like doing female voices for them and all that stuff. But she also had her own channel where she would read like Rule 34 and Reddit smut, but in anime girl voice.
Oh God.
And like doujins that were funny, and she would used to do like hardcore hip hop covers, but in her anime girl voice. And she
I mean, that definitely sounds like there's an audience for that.
And I was one of them. And everybody loved her. It was the
Of course you were.
It was the age of Nyanners. So I've been following this delight for years and years because she's very, her aesthetic is just like, she's seemingly wholesome, but like literally 90% of the shit she says is just like, don't have your kids around. Like,
so was this like back in high school or like college?
Like from middle
era?
School to high school.
Middle school?
Yeah, that's how far back Nyanners goes, bro.
What the dude? I was watching like Smosh, like wholesome, you know, going to the mountains. Like
she was around, and that's the kind of shit she was doing. That was the kind of shit I was into, and it was fucking funny.
Oh no!
But then for a while, she kind of like dropped off of making content too frequently. She would like upload every once in a while, but then one day, we were blessed with an epiphany out of her mind.
The return of the queen.
The triumphant return of the Queen Nyanners in VTuber form.
Oh God!
And that was the day everything changed for me.
The stars aligned.
The stars aligned. It was like that scene in Doctor Strange where like he astral projects for the first time. But instead of terrifying, it was sheer bliss. And
Oh man.
she started uploading videos of her on YouTube, and I'm just like, what? Nanner's a VTuber? What's this? And I started watching it, and I fell into the fucking rabbit hole, dude, because she's so fucking funny. And then out of her, she started doing collaborations with other ones, and then that's where I learned about Iron Mouse. Which,
Who?
Iron Mouse, she's another VTuber that I am just completely enamored with. Because she's pretty much the same, except even smaller. Just take Nanners, make her Latina and small. And there's Iron Man.
I thought you were talking about like Tony Stark's hamster for a second.
No, close. That's Iron Rat, but Iron Mouse.
Ah.
She's just this. So she has like a whole story. Like you can look her up and all that stuff. She has like an autoimmune disease that like, you know, she's what they would describe a bubble girl. Where it's just like they have the autoimmune disease where like if they go outside and interact with anyone, they're risking death, and they're basically bedridden. So she has a whole bunch of other conditions, you know, difficulty with mobility and all this stuff. But she's also just like obviously that would seem like a sad story to anybody. But the way she carries herself and the way she interacts with her fans and just how open she is about it, but also how she doesn't really let that kind of stuff, you know. She's very optimistic regardless of her situation, which is great because obviously for us, people who are more, you know, able and all that stuff, it's easy for us to like go past sympathy and just kind of like only see them like, oh, I'm so sorry for you and all that stuff and pity them. When most of those people really just want to be treated like normal people, you know, regardless of their situation. And she's definitely like an advocate for that kind of situation where like, yes, I have this pretty much unfortunate situation and all that stuff, but I try my best to live my life in the way I want to live it and happily. And recently there was a situation where like she had to get a new bed because it was kind of difficult for her to do her work in the current bed she had. And she set like a goal stream for 253 days to raise up the money to get the bed, which was like $2,000. 7 minutes didn't pass, and her fans already gave her all the fucking money for it.
Damn. I mean, that actually worked out pretty miraculously for her, and I'm assuming, I don't know if there's other people like her, but like VTubing seems almost like the dream job for someone like that.
Yeah, because she says it all the time. Like this is like, it's a template that she's finally allowed to express herself and her interests and share it with people outside of her little room that she doesn't get to leave. And it's finally, and she explained it in that stream, like she finally feels normal, and she finally feels like she has friends and people that she could love and be around and support as they support her and all that stuff. And that was just a very impactful and meaningful story for me. Not in that sense of just like, you know, most people will automatically go just like, oh, you think you got it bad? Well, look at this person who's got it worse. Because that's a very toxic view of it. It's more of just kind of like, she shows people that's just like, regardless of what you're going through and what's happening, there's always hope. As long as you like, you know, you're true to yourself and you're true to what you want to do and who you want to be, and you stick to that and you work with that and work hard in that, there will always be a way for you to find your place, you know?
Yeah, and now she found people that love her so much that they have to die.
Yeah, I mean, they say her following is a cult, and you know, it's not a cult, but it is a cult, and you know, I happily subscribe to this cult. I will don my Iron Mouse robes, and the common saying of the cults is, we will do nothing in the world to change Iron Mousey, but if there ever comes a day where she has to stop doing content, but she could be cured, well then so be it, because she is like the most wholesome little thing that says the most nasty little things. Because you see her streams and she's raunchy as hell, man. And it's so fucking funny because you hear her voice and you're just like, how can these things come out of this person's mouth? But it's so funny. It's so funny. All those VTubers that way. No. Nanners, Mousy, all of them. Silver. And they're all great. But those are definitely the two that really got me into it. Like Nanners and Iron Mouse. And I don't know, it's just entertaining. Most people are just like, haha, you guys only watch it because you're simping for cute girl, anime girl voices. I mean, yes, but also... they're really...
It goes deeper, guys.
Really...
I'm truly falling in love here. And one day, her personality will be uploaded so that I may download it into my, pillow.
Into my butt plug. Into my interactive butt plug. And it'll be great. One day I will be pegged by Neanners. No, that's already... That you know, it's what it is, Munch. You're gonna have to accept me for who I am. And, you know, what represents me as a person.
I mean, this is the first time I'm finding out what your preferences in terms of that. But, I mean, clearly we got an idea of your preference in VTuber. It seems to be the, what's the word for that type of voice? I don't know if there is a word, but the high pitch, cutesy, but raunchy.
I just think
type.
It's funny, man. You know, it's just like, the contrast is just so fucking funny to me, and it's made even better when they're actually funny. You know, most people are just like, that's just like toilet humor, you know, it's just raunchy things coming out of a cute voice, but they say like the funniest shit, and they have incredible comedic timing, especially Neanners, man. Neanners always catches people off guard with how quick she is, with just like, she's super witty, and it's just like, it's so entertaining to watch because she could take even the most mundane things and make it fucking hilarious. And I think that's why I got into those specific VTubers, because there's a lot of VTubers. There's a lot. And it's not even just women. There's dudes who do VTubing too. I know there's this one Spanish guy who does it in like this weird like red panda model. And then there's this other guy who's like a cog from Gears of War. You know, there's a bunch of VTubers with different kind of models and different kind of aesthetics. But the reason I really got into them is because they're just genuinely really just like fucking hilarious. And like that's why I was able to like, versus something like Kizuna Ai and those that, you know, their brand isn't really the kind of thing, you know, their comedy isn't really my thing, where it's that quirky like, what, I'm Japanese, I don't understand these American things, but it's funny. For me, it was definitely more just like, you know, obviously I followed Neander since forever, so it was easy for me to get into her stuff. But then, you know, Iron Mouse and all of those came along, and they were that, they kind of like all synergized together, and they're all actually now part of a VTubing talent agency. I think it's called V Shoujo. Neander's announced it like today that she got into V Shoujo, and like, it's just really funny.
Wait, that's crazy. I'm literally reading on her wiki. I didn't realize it was announced today, but I'm seeing, she re-debuted as part of eShoujo. That was 24th, so yesterday.
Yep. And the video of it is really fucking funny. Like, even her just like announcing that, hey, I'm now part of this conglomerate. She could even take something as mundane as that and make it fucking hilarious. And, I don't know. It's just like, I fell deep into the rabbit hole. I'm not ashamed of it, and I think it's great. And like I told you the other day, I know we've made it big when we get to collaborate with fucking VTubers. That's when we really.
Oh, I know you've fallen for sure. I don't know about rabbit holes, but yeah, no, you've definitely fallen.
I'm not in love with these fake people much. I just think they're really fucking funny. I would like to shake their little virtual hands one day. That's about as far as it goes.
So I wonder what makes it so that so many people are more intrigued or more attached to the like this recent trend of virtual avatars versus just real people.
I think it's just it's kind of like the same reason why so many people like cartoons and all this stuff, because I just feel like it's that divide where like it doesn't necessarily feel like you're connecting with a person per se, rather than you're connecting with a persona. But obviously there's a person behind that persona. That's not like, I'm sure there's some people in the world who only see these VTubers as their persona, but I could honestly say most people, you know, don't. It's kind of just like, yeah, it's a cute persona, but obviously there's a real person behind it, and they like, it kind of like feels like interacting with your favorite cartoon character, you know? What if like one day Goku was real, kind of like situation, and he's playing video games and he's doing all this cool shit, you know? It's kind of like draws a parallel with that, where it's just like this really like cute character who could do like the dumbest who's just like behaves literally like a real person, because it is a real person. It's such like
Yeah.
a weird phenomenon that I don't know. It strikes the neurons in our weird monkey brains that are just like, I like that. It's funny. You know?
And when you explain it like that, it makes a lot of sense. Like, there's a certain detach because they're not a, like, at least on camera, there's not a real human, but you know it's a person. But yeah, I guess when you explain it like it's like interacting with your favorite cartoon character, it makes a lot of sense to me. Because going back to Persona, right, I think the reason why, like, yeah, the gameplay is all great, and it's an RPG, and I love RPGs, but the reason why I'm so hooked on it really is the characters and, like, getting to know them, even if they're not real. Whereas this, they actually are real, and the more you watch them, the more of their personality you get to know, but there's still this, like, mask that they're wearing, literally. So it's almost like a puzzle box, kind of like you're figuring this person out without ever actually seeing them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it does have a sense of like you get attached to that.
Yeah, it's like a strange appeal. You know, it's like kind of like the adult version of just like, my cartoon characters are real. Like when you meet Mickey Mouse in Disney World.
Oh God.
Like that. Where it's like the adult version of that. But it's also just like,
Bruh.
like you said, since it's kind of like a mask, it's almost like you're getting the realest version of these people. You know, it's kind of like, it's like that phenomenon where when you go to like a comic, a con in cosplay, you feel like the confidence of that character because you're in the skin of that character. It allows you to break out much easier.
Yeah, and everyone that like sees you, like, they perceive you as the character.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know who the heck you are in real life, but they see the character and they recognize it. They're like, oh, that's, you know, Deku or whatever.
Yeah, that's super cool, and they interact with you in that way. I think in a sense it's kind of like that. Since they're behind that persona, they're not afraid to show like who they really are, you know, and say the things that they usually wouldn't say, either because of embarrassment or bashfulness or whatever. They're a lot more prone to just be like an even more eccentric and out there version of themselves, and I feel like that's just a very nice thing to watch and interact with, and I think that's why people appeal with it so much.
That's actually, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of clicking in my head now because I've had some interest in trying to do something like that myself ever since I saw like even Kitsuna kind of blowing up a couple of years ago. And it makes a lot of sense why so many people are kind of going towards this now, because at least when we were growing up on the internet, it felt like, I don't know, maybe there were people creating real life content, obviously, but at least in gaming, most creators wouldn't even have like a webcam or anything, you know? It felt like that you got to show your personality while still being behind the scenes. So you almost, at least maybe more for introverted people, I don't know if extroverts is the same, but at least for me, the reason why I started doing YouTube and like got really comfortable with it was that sense that I could like say whatever and not really be afraid, because I wasn't necessarily all the way out there, you know? It wasn't like it is now, basically.
Yes.
And YouTube has evolved to where it obviously favors more, or well, I guess it's just a natural evolution of it. Like, people that actually show their face on camera garnered a lot more attention. But I don't know if now it's like maybe going back to that, because so many people started putting on a character on the camera rather than just be themselves. And like this kind of gives you that freedom again.
Yep. Honestly, yeah.
I don't know if that all made sense,
No,
but that's how I feel at least.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of just like, I feel that it's like retreading old ground, but in a new way. Kind of like.
Yeah.
And,
That's what intrigues me about VTubing, because I feel like a lot of the reason I've been streaming more rather than making like Let's Plays is that I grew into like a persona or like a character where I would mainly just talk about like the game now, you know, and like my opinions on that. And like way back in the day, my videos were like almost like vlogs while I'm playing the game.
Yep.
And I feel like when I go on stream, it's more casual, maybe because you have that like chat with you too. So there is a sense like a more closer interaction with people. And all of that combined with like VTubing now, because obviously most VTubers are on like streaming platforms, right?
Yep.
So yeah, they're like, it's a very direct, but at the same time indirect connection that you get to make with people. And it brings out like the realness in people sometimes, even if it is a persona or a character, I guess.
Yep. And you know, it's kind of like you were talking about like how you've thought about like trying that stuff out. Even I thought about it, just like, oh man, it'd be really fun to be a VTuber. And it's for that same idea of just like, I know not for all people, but for some people it's really fun to just like play this character and interact with people in this character. It's why I like role playing so much in D&D. You know, that's like my favorite part of D&D. Like, obviously I love a lot about D&D. I love the combat. I love how the world and the storytelling, but I really, really enjoy the role playing part of it because it's fun, you know, sometimes every once in a while to be someone other than you. And it's not in a situation where I'm just like, I don't like me. Obviously, that's not the case. I'm an egomaniac and I love myself to death. But sometimes it's still just fun every once in a while to just be someone else every once in a while. I know there are some people who take that super fucking far and just like they're just someone else all the time, which is terrifying, but oh well.
Yeah, I feel like it can get dangerous if you go too far down.
Oh, yeah. But, you know...
like, maybe some VTubers will do some really shady stuff and then be like, oh, I was just in character. Yeah. Like, that's not me. Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely a line you gotta tread.
What do you mean I committed genocide? That wasn't me. That was Neanders.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean I committed war crimes? Wasn't me.
Well, when you think about it that way, that's the way a lot of like companies operate. Like they'll do something really shitty and then just blame the company. It's like, no, that wasn't our fault. That was the company.
That was
like, just let it go bankrupt. We'll make a new one.
Yeah, that was the formless corporate entity. That's not our policies. What are you talking about? Fucking weird. But, you know, it's just fun. It's fun. And you know, it's fun to see other people have fun with that. And I think that's why I really fell into that rabbit hole of VTuber. Because, you know, it's generally wholesome. Even though there are these really raunchy people that say the raunchiest shit, it's generally wholesome to just watch them have fun. And, you know, there's some people who are going to be like, oh, people just like it because they're girls. And, you know, like, yeah, that's part of the appeal. But also... isn't that a good thing too? That, you know, so often in these kind of communities, people always find a way to shun women and devalue what they do, especially in streaming platforms. They're just like, wow, they're only popular because they show their cleavage and...
That's on the internet in general, I would say, man. The internet is a representation of real life. And yeah, sadly, that's... you know, over time, we've been getting better at it, and the internet is the same situation. Like, this is a new opportunity for, like, you know, I guess women to feel more equal, even though it's, like, kind of behind the scenes or behind the screen. But
yeah, it's kind of like...
yeah, I don't know. I get it. I feel like it is a good thing that it's, like, giving them more opportunity than even guys in this case, because at least from what I've seen, the guy VTubers are not nearly as popular.
No, of course not. Because it's just like, it's good that women are allowed to have this niche. And, you know, obviously we want every space to be able to be filled regardless of just like, you know, of gender or sex or whatever. But niches will always exist. There will always be a niche that either people who identify as male will usually feel better or females will feel better. And I don't see that as a bad thing. You know, most people would just be like, it's not fair that they're so much more popular than men in this. And it's just like, dude, think about all the other things that men dominate. Like,
yeah, I've never gotten like I don't know. I'm all for equality, obviously, but there's certain things that obviously like one or the other gender can do better in like certain areas.
You know, women will always
or thrive better in, I guess is a better word.
Women will always dominate giving birth. Men will always dominate. I don't know. Assault. I don't know.
Oh my. Okay. Well, you know, I'm talking about the majority. Obviously, there's always going to be a minority. Like, for example, there's some really buff ladies that I'm sure are great at construction. My brain immediately
went, what's the most fucked up thing I could say in this situation?
And my brain's going into distraction mode to divert from the conversation.
No, but it's just like, jokes aside, there's always going to be those niches, and I just think it's great that women can have this niche to them, especially in a streaming platform where they're appreciated, and they're not looked up just like, it's just because they're women. No, a lot of these VTubers are genuinely funny people and put a lot of effort into interacting with their fan base and bringing new updates to their character models and like hashing out their personas and bringing this content. And that the same goes for regular female streamers. They do the same thing. But obviously this is a more specialized case that I'm talking about. And it's good that as of now, it's being appreciated for what it is and the value that it has, because all creativity, as long as it's not harmful, has its value. So it's good to see that this is a space that they're able to fill comfortably, without judgment, and, just have fun with it. And, talking about the whole V Shoujo thing, I don't know if you know the specifics, but it's mainly like a talent agency. And it's really cool because they actually let the VTubers keep their persona, and their content is still owned by them. And since it's talent focused, they're not being censored or anything.
So it's like a group channel, essentially.
Yeah, and since it's a talent focus, they're not being censored. And I think that's like a huge step forward for those kinds of things. Where it's not just like they're not trying to take away why it is that people love these people in the first place. And they're not trying to take away what they work so hard to do. They're just there to support it and bring it to more people and help them reach out to more people. Obviously, they gain a benefit from it because they also gain from the revenue, but they're not trying to fucking own this shit. And I think I think that's pretty great, and I'm super happy for them.
Yeah, I love the whole scene in general, and especially because I don't know, but on Twitch it's just always difficult for female streamers because obviously there's going to be guys I don't want to say just harassing, but just commenting or being mean about physical appearance,
objectifying,
and that's
all that kind of stuff. Always.
So now they can objectify the anime avatar.
Yeah.
Which is fine, apparently.
That's pretty much part of the thing for those kinds of VTubers, especially for Nyanners and Iron Mousey and all that stuff. They're always talking about their big boing boings. And they try their best to add jiggle physics to their anime tits. And
Newton's laws.
Yeah, they
turned that up to like a 200.
I mean, Melody started off doing she does porn streams with her avatar.
Melody got the Melodies.
Project Melody? Yeah, you don't know about Project Melody? That was a big thing.
No,
she got banned on Twitch for a while. Obviously, she doesn't.
Wait, no, I do. I forgot her name, but yeah, no, she's she was the one that was basically doing hentai streams, right?
She still does them. I don't know if she does them on Twitch. I know she has other platforms that she does them on.
No, that's definitely not. I mean, if she's taking off her clothes, that's not allowed on Twitch. But
I don't even think she did one on Twitch. I think she got banned completely separately. I think it's because she did porn streams on other streaming sites that Twitch was just like, oh, we can't have that bad revenue, and then everybody went out to murder Twitch.
It's happened to even real adult actresses that try to do Twitch, and Twitch just doesn't like them because obviously they'll be still promoting that on their platform or on Twitch, and they don't want that, I guess. But
big deal, you fucking Twitch bitches. They're not showing their tits on stream. Leave them alone.
Yeah, she's not about to start,
Yeah, leave them alone.
Doing that while gaming. It's like that.
She's so dumb, but she was able to get her Twitch thing back because if not, people were gonna burn Twitch down. And
I know, obviously people can have a divide, and it's if you want to have that be part of your career, you can keep it separate.
Exactly.
It's kind of unfair of them to ban you for things you do on other platforms.
Exactly. Unless you're being
I just feel like that's them
on other platforms. That's different. But just because you're doing porn on a porn platform and not doing it on Twitch, I feel it's weird for them to come out. Oh, you do porn somewhere else? Nope, get out of here.
Even that. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that people should be bigots, but I feel like even that has, to me at least, has some weird intricacies, because a lot of people or actors specifically get like fired for things that they like tweeted years ago, you know.
Oh,
so
well, yeah, but that's kind of like a case of just like, you know, you really have to measure if you know.
It's a case by case and like
Yeah,
when it happened
exactly.
and all
Context,
that. I get it. Yeah.
You know, yeah. Because,
context, exactly.
I mean, if we're gonna bring it up front, like the PewDiePie situation, well, that's like kind of just like, okay, no. But if it was like what we did with like what happened with James Gunn, where it's just like when he was much younger, and even before he got called out about it and fired, he had already apologized for it and acknowledged it before. That was already of a situation like, okay, obviously he said something that wasn't cool, but he's you know that he's already grown past that and has acknowledged it. Why 10 years later are you gonna punish him for it? You know, obviously that's a that's dumb.
Dude, I'm salty about The Flash. Like, I don't even watch the show anymore, but they got rid of the elongated man because he was tweeting some like very crude jokes a long time ago, and some people didn't think they were jokes. So I don't know. He already had apologized for it too, so it just felt weird. But I guess it's a CW show, so they really, really don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, well, definitely. Since it's CW.
I'm salty, though. He was literally the funniest character on the show.
Yeah, wrecked elongated, man. Fucking dunked on. But, hey, man, them's the breaks, I suppose. We'll see. I feel like those landscapes are slowly changing to realizing that there's a lot of contextual intricacies to the things that go on with content creators. I think they're starting to realize that these people are people. And, you know, they're not just like entities or brands, so you kind of have to treat them contextually as people sometimes too, and give them.
And everyone, like, you got to give people room to grow. Yeah. Like, if they have messed up, obviously some people stay messed up, but others can actually learn from their mistakes.
Yeah,
so
benefit of the doubt kind of thing. But
yeah,
you know, the VTuber empire is slowly rising. I am on the winning side. I suggest that you join soon, because the uprising won't happen.
Oh, I'm ready, but I'm not going to be on the consumer side. You see, I'm going to be on the
creator
inside.
You're going to get us the in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be the new
no joke. Mascot. Like, I've been thinking, I guess just to give you my ideas, is because, like I said, I originated doing Let's Plays where I felt like more comfortable being behind the camera, or not on camera, I guess.
When you rose from the primordial ooze.
And lately I have gotten more used to it because of Twitch. Like, I don't really care anymore if there's a webcam or not. Whereas I definitely used to. Like, I didn't feel the same. Like, I would act really awkward on camera, like when I first started, as I'm sure a lot of people would. But now that it's all come full circle, it's time for me to put on the mask again and become
a racist.
MunchingOrange.
Oh.
Yeah,
MunchingOrange.
No. Maybe a fruitist. Like, I'm not about, you know, the non-citrus fruits.
What about the vegetables? Okay, you bigot.
Are tomatoes vegetables?
No, they're fruits.
But how do you know?
Because they have seeds in them.
But bananas don't have seeds.
Yes, they do.
Really?
You ever cut a banana and you see the black dots and the black little holes?
Oh, I didn't really think of them as seeds.
I think. I don't know. I think. I'm not exactly sure.
I thought the seed of the banana was, you know, I don't know the English word, el racimo? Is that what it's called?
The root?
No. El racimo's like, isn't it the whole thing? Like the banana?
Oh, like if it was
how
a
they
sprout,
all come...
like a potato?
No, like, you know how when bananas grow off the trees, there's like a bunch of them clumped up together, right? And then it has like a tail, almost looks like a necromorph tail, and like a little pink part that's pointy. I always thought that was the seed.
I have no clue, honestly, but I definitely know bananas.
Listen, my grandma grew freaking crops and fruits and crap.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Like right, literally next to my house, tenemos a plátano, you know, a plantain tree. So you know, I know. What you're talking
so I think
about.
what you plant is like it's outside of the, like it's not in the fruit itself. But whatever. Obviously, we know bananas are fruits. I was making the joke anyway.
So what's your character, your VTuber character going to be? It's just going to be an orange with a mouth. You're going to be you're bringing annoying orange back.
Well, thinking about it, like,
shit,
and after
dude,
this
Annoying Orange was
conversation
the
and
first
everything.
VTuber.
Yes, exactly. That's. Dude, I've actually seen that posted already, by the way.
Really?
So someone's beating you to the meme or the joke.
I just had that epiphany. Like,
yeah, people were saying that. Like, Annoying Orange was the first VTuber.
the originator, the progenitor of all VTubers. Wow, that's incredible to think about. I don't want to think about it anymore. Anyways, your new character.
So which fruit are you going to be when you come on the show? On my live stream?
Probably a definitely not a twink. Probably.
Excuse me? Oh, so you'll be a bear.
Yeah,
okay, I got you.
Yeah. No, I don't know. If I was a VTuber character, I don't even know what I'd be.
Well, my idea, maybe then you can give you some time to think about it. But I as we were having this conversation and kind of talking about how people, well, I guess just the VTubers, they're themselves, but they have certain quirks to them or like things that, I don't know how to explain it, but they're like what their character is based on, you know, like the keystones. And for me, I guess it would definitely be Pokemon. So it would only make sense to become a Pokemon trainer, like role play as one, you know?
What was that noise?
Wait, what? The noise you made?
I don't know where that came from.
What? Your own noises surprise you?
I didn't know I could make that noise. I'm perfect for a VTuber. But
well, I already have my character, you know. Obviously, there would be like some things to adapt about it, but basically role play as if I was a trainer in the game.
Oh.
Like, as I'm playing through it, whether it's a Nuzlocke or whatever, I'm like putting myself really immersing in the game.
Wow, you fucking virgin.
Or I could become just a girl avatar, you know.
Ooh.
Whatever.
I actually was thinking about that. That was one of my ideas. Where I was just like, I could have a girl avatar, but I would just talk like this.
I'm sure there's a niche for that too.
Would I be the first trap streamer? Like, first trap VTuber?
I mean, you could be the first popular one. There's probably some guy already out there has done it, dude. Come on.
No, but I would literally talk about, like, there's a penis under this skirt. Like, I'm not hiding it. Like, the trap part of it would be the appeal. Like,
I see. So your character would literally be, well, like your actual avatar would also be.
Yeah.
I see. I understand that.
Dude, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a femboy VTuber.
Just make sure to debut with the OnlyFans.
Yes, I'm making OnlyFans for it and everything. This is genius. Oh, I'm patenting that right now. So if anyone's listening to this
You're
and
gonna
tries
be,
to steal it, fuck you.
You'll be invited to Shoujo in no time.
Yay!
Or V
I'll
Shoujo.
be the first male V Shoujo is a trap. I'm gonna do it. Stop. The more I talk about it, I'm convincing myself.
I think the V might stand for vagina, but you'll be okay.
I think it's for virtual, but sure.
No, it's definitely virgin, right?
I mean, Virgil?
Because anybody that watches VTubers are virgins, obviously.
That is true. I remember the first episode I watched on Neander's, the first stream I watched Neander's, I felt my hymen regrowing.
What the fuck? Jesus.
I became a virgin once more because that's definitely what defines if you're a virgin or not. For sure. I'm doing it, man. I'm going to the drawing board. I'm gonna start designing my little trap boy. And then you're gonna be Pokemon.
I'm excited for you, man.
You're gonna
I think this is truly the future.
This is the future of Quip Save right here. That'll be our little Quip Save side mascot thing. We're gonna have Trap Boy. We're gonna have Trap Boy Gabe and Pokemon Trainer Munch. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. It's gonna be wonderful. I'm excited. We're doing this.
It's happening.
It's happening. You heard
Stay
it here
tuned.
first. We're gonna one day you'll see us in V Shoujo and you're gonna be that was the dream. They did it. They did it. It all started here. Watch the fucking comments come in. They're gonna be like, do it. Oh no, what have we started? We started a chain reaction now. We can't stop. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this.
I think that's a good point to end it off on right there.
It's going to be a real short one, but hey, I mean, what else? That was a really...
real short, bro. I mean, we usually just go right over it. I think actually usually when we cross over the hour, we're just like, I don't know, maybe it feels more comfortable, so we just keep rambling. But
yeah. I mean,
no, but this time I got to go get my back cracked. Maybe we can talk about that more in the next one.
You gotta settle down on the peggings, man. It's fucking your posture up.
You got me into it, man. What the